Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Glad to welcome you back to the Crimson Tide Sports Network, and welcome to this Thursday edition of Crimson Drive, driven by Tuscaloosa Toyota. Make sure you check them out online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. Start to go through our headlines for today's show, and we will be using this smart board that's been provided to us by RJ Young. RJ Young is the official technology solutions provider of Crimson Drive. First of all, coming up on the show today, Coleman Coliseum was buzzing last night as Alabama got the win against Mississippi State. We will take you back inside Coleman Coliseum, let you watch Chris Stewart, Brian Passing with all the courtside cam highlights, and then right after that, Charles Bediako joined Chris Stewart on the radio and also on our Facebook live stream. So we'll be hearing from Charles Bediako after the thrilling win for the Crimson Tide against Mississippi State as he picked up the hard hat last night in the victory. Following that, we'll be hearing from head coach Kristy talking about Alabama women's basketball, a huge matchup tonight coming up against rival Tennessee. And then we will be talking baseball with the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Brad Bohannon, as Alabama baseball will be starting its season coming up on Friday with the beginning of a 3-game series against the Xavier Musketeers. Going through the headlines for all the different sports going on here at Alabama, of course, the men's basketball team last night had the great win against Mississippi State. 80-75 was the final score. You knew it was going to be a thrilling finish, and we saw Nate Oates get ejected for the first time, he said, in his career last night, picking up 2 technical fouls in the second half. But credit Charlie Henry, Antoine Petway, Brian Hodgson, Alabama assistants helping rally Alabama, and the players did a great job as well picking up Coach Oates, and he talked about that after the game last night. So a fun win for the Crimson Tide. They've now won 3 straight games. Everyone talked about that one stretch Alabama had where they played 3 top 5 teams in a row. Alabama went 1-2 in that stretch. How would they respond? Well, they backed it up by going 3-0, getting 3 wins they needed to get against Ole Miss, Arkansas, and now Mississippi State. Javon Quinterly was the leader last night with 21 points, good outside and inside scoring from JQ. Now coming up on Saturday, another tough matchup coming up against number 3 Kentucky. That'll be at Rupp Arena. 12 p.m. Central, 11 a.m. will be our airtime here on the network. So fun times last night at Coleman for Alabama men's basketball. The women's basketball team last Sunday fell to Kentucky 63-67. Now they're gearing up for a matchup against a top 10 team, 8th-ranked Tennessee. 6 p.m. is the tip-off. We'll have the radio broadcast as well as a courtside cam available right back here on our Facebook page, so we look forward to this game tonight against the Lady Vols. Alabama has won 5 of the last 8 meetings with Tennessee, and coming up, we'll hear Kristy talk about what's important for her team coming up tonight against Tennessee. Other headlines for today, we'll go to Alabama softball last weekend. Really terrific outing for the Crimson Tide at the Candrea Classic as Alabama went 4-0, knocked off a couple of Pac-12 schools in Oregon State and Arizona. Now this weekend, they are at home for the Easton Bama Bash as the Crimson Tide will be welcoming in a very talented field that does include Virginia Tech, Evansville, and Middle Tennessee, especially for that Virginia Tech matchups, or the 2 that we're going to see this weekend are going to be a lot of fun at Rhodes Stadium. So congratulations to Coach Murphy and the staff putting together a great schedule for Alabama's first home tournament of the season. Remember, you can listen to all the games on 97.5 The Nick. Now, the Crimson Tide baseball team. It's been a while since we talked baseball, and this weekend the Crimson Tide will begin the season at home against the Xavier Musketeers. 3-2-1. I want you to remember that. 3-2-1. Some of these early weekend series will be Friday at 3 o'clock, Saturday at 2 o'clock, and then Sunday at 1 o'clock at the Joe. Last season, of course, Crimson Tide made it to an NCAA regional and also had a good run of the SEC tournament in Hoover, Alabama. And coming up in just a moment, we'll be hearing from the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Brad Bohannon, about what he liked from last year and also what's going to be important for the Crimson Tide coming up this season. Now, once again, last night was a lot of fun at Coleman Coliseum, a thrilling comeback victory against Mississippi State. Let's take a look at our courtside cam highlights, and remember, you can always watch the courtside cam for men's and women's basketball home games right here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network Facebook page.
Stops, looks, pivots to Gurley, back to Shaq again, kicks it over to Quinterly, steps up, 3, bottom. Thought about it, instead flips to JD, driving, dishing into the corner, Miles, spots up, 3-ball bottom. Outlet pass to JQ, 2-on-2, the step through, behind the back to the trailer, Shaq for the layup.
So smooth, taking the ball to the basket, the defense tried to strip it. JQ just flips it behind his back to Shaq, who was able to get the easy layup.
Quinterly going to his right, going to the rim, off the glass and in, and Man, he's almost unstoppable right now.
Yeah, he's got that look in his eye, taking the ball to the basket, just waiting for the right time. The defender leaned one direction, able to take it inside, goes off the wrong foot, up high off the glass and finishes.
Shaq drives, finds Miles, left corner, three, bottom, right off the bench, right in the basket, and Alabama back on top, 50-47. Taking it away is Miles. Bama playing tough, they'll come the other way. Here's JQ in the front court, trying to let traffic go by. Surveys things, gets into the lane, lob, Bediako the flush. And a foul is called, an and one opportunity for Charles Bediako. It was so loud we couldn't hear the whistle. Frankly, didn't expect to get one.
And the 6th assist of the game for Javon Quinterly. Able to lob it up high. Charles Bediako throws it down. See the energy, the intensity on the defensive end picking up for Alabama on the previous possession. Bama gets a loose ball. Darius Miles able to corral it. That started the Alabama fast break. Bama gets it into the hands of its point guard, Javon Quinterly, who makes another great decision, a beautiful pass, and a chance for a three-point play.
Goes to the elbow. Rojas, corner three, bottom. Bama gets a big three. Rojas knocks it down. Rebound claimed by Bama. Ahead the pass goes. JQ, count it. No foul called as he got knocked to the deck. And Bama's to within two. Should have been an and one. A lot of should have beens in this ball game, but Bama's right there in it. Trailing 64-62.
That's what I'm talking about. Can't look for the officials to make the call. Got to finish through contact. JQ was able to do it.
Moore throws into the low post to Brooks. Brooks, offensive foul, and they called it. Hallelujah! In the corner, JQ, come on, baby. No good. JD is there, and he gets fouled. The putback, JD Davison, after Quinterly's three was halfway home, popped out. Davidson finished it off, and he'll go to the line for an and one opportunity.
We have seen that all year long. JD Davison goes up high, hangs in the air. Ball comes off softly, almost goes down for JQ, but JD able to hang in the air, finish with contact, and a chance for Alabama to take the lead.
Does the hair work as a parachute?
Boy, it sure looks like it. Just floating through the air. Almost effortless as JD goes to the line and knocks down a huge three-point play. And listen to this crowd.
7 points, 6 boards for Davison. Bama back on top with 5 minutes to go. JQ with it at 10. Throws it down low, Bediako. Pump fake flush, and Alabama scores out of the timeout.
JQ made the right play at the right time. Took his time, let that play develop. Charles Bediako on the block, delivers the pass, and he throws it down.
He'll dribble to his right. He'll change direction. Step back, bottom. He has been so stinking good. Javon Quinterly with 17 points, 7 assists, and with 90 seconds to go, Bama leads by 5. Jeffries missed the dunk. Bama comes the other way. Here comes the tide to Miles, to the rack, the flush. State runs the other way. Carter poked away from behind. Timeout had been called, but you couldn't tell. It was too loud. Place is going nuts as Bama leads it by 9 with 58 seconds remaining.
Alabama on an 18-2 run. They were down 7. Nate Oates gets thrown out of the game after his second technical. Had Charlie Henry taken over. He and Antoine Petway. Brian Hodgson, they settle this Alabama team down who was frustrated, and they use that frustration to get stops, get rebounds, and offensively, it was Javon Quinterly making plays for himself and teammates. Alabama able to do it on both ends in a game that looked like it was slipping away against a talented Mississippi State team. It has been an incredible run the last few minutes for this Alabama team.
Step back jumper, Carter, no good. Run clock, final 5 seconds, ticking away. State finally waves the white flag, and Bama wins it 80-75. Crimson Tide with a victory. Had to fight to do it in more ways than one. Rest your arm, Tom. Good work. Tom Stipe making sure we could hear a little rammer jammer here from the Alabama student section and really the whole building. And sitting down to join me courtside, it'll be the tallest post-game interviewee I've ever had. Charles Bediako, congratulations. Great win for you and the Tide today.
Thank you, appreciate it.
80-75 the final. Took some weird routes to get here to this game. You're up big, you're down 7. Take me to the point when Coach Oates was ejected and what the mood was in the huddle, what was said that helped calm you guys down.
When that situation happened, I mean, we just really had to still be in for each other. I mean, no matter if Coach Oates is here or not, he always teaches us, you know, stay together and great teams find ways to win. So that really just boosted our momentum. And that just meant we had to stay tight because adversity was hitting for us. And, you know, our guys stayed poised. Everybody gave what they had and, you know, led to a great outcome. So I'm so proud of my brothers, man.
You should be. How proud are you of this crowd, though? Because I thought you guys got a huge lift from them down the stretch as well.
I mean, I love this crowd. These are the best people in the country. Yeah, we're always so happy to have crowds like them. You know, they're always so supportive of us. Even on campus, they see us, you know, letting us know, keep it up, great game. Like, you know, we love it. They help us win games, to be honest.
You're from Canada.
Yeah.
You're here in your first season. We haven't had a chance to talk to you on air about this. I am curious, just your reaction to being here, being a part of this environment this far away from home.
I mean, I've been used to, like, playing a bit far from home. I mean,
Sure.
I've been playing in the U.S. for, like, since my junior year of high school.
Right.
I was in Ohio, and last year I was just down in Florida. And I'm honestly, I would never even thought I would be here in Alabama, but I mean, I'm just so glad I made this choice. You know, my mom's always watching. She's always talking to me. She's always saying, "Yeah, I love you. I love this school." She came down to watch one time when we played against Houston. And, you know, she's never seen a crowd before. Everybody's so nice here, so she's happy that I'm happy that I'm here.
We're happy you're here as well.
And
Congratulations on the win. Go celebrate with some other happy guys.
All right, appreciate it.
Congratulations. Charles Bediako.
Well, Coleman Coliseum, again, was the place to be as Alabama picked up that win. Charles Bediako, a fun conversation with Chris Stewart after that 80-75 win for the Crimson Tide. We hope Coleman Coliseum will be rocking once again this evening because Alabama women's basketball plays its next-to-last home game of the season tonight against the 8th-ranked Tennessee Lady Volunteers. There's been some recent success for Alabama against Tennessee, and before this matchup, head coach Kristy Curry met with the media. Here is Coach's checklist for Coach Curry and the women's basketball team.
Obviously, when you play a team twice in the same conference season, you have a lot that you can take away from. That was early, obviously, to kick off conference season. And I think we're both better than we were at that point. And we'll draw from that game, and we'll draw from who we need to be prepared for Thursday night. I think just their energy and effort that they bring every single day, you know, they really feed off each other, always in the gym, always getting extra shots up. You know, we've seen Jemiah's offensive output grow. I think it's just the freedom she feels. I mean, we've told her we want her to be more aggressive offensively. She's really stepped up to that. She continues to work on her three ball, continues to work on her free throws. And then you've got Britt, who, you know, is again, you know, having sit out last year, and now she's back. And I think both of those two are really playing their best basketball right now. Well, I think they're important, Max, but they're all 16, just as equally important to me as a coach. You know, obviously we have great respect and admiration for their program. You know, what Coach Summit has done for our game and what Kelly now does for our game, and how much we all respect that and want to embrace that and continue to help the game grow the way Coach Summit has and the way Kelly does. And we're just excited about the opportunity Thursday. Nothing changes for us as far as it's any less or any more important, but I do think it speaks volumes of the progress our program has made, you know, to win in Knoxville and to win here, and we want to continue to try and do that and get back to that point. So whether it's Tennessee or whomever on Thursday, we just want to win the next game because it's the next game, but I do think it shows progress that our program has made.
Good luck to Alabama against Tennessee coming up later tonight. Again, our coverage starts at 5:55 across the network. We'll also have a courtside cam available right back here on our CTSN Facebook page for Alabama against Tennessee. We've been waiting a long time for baseball to get going, and now it's almost February 18th, so it is time for the season to begin this weekend for the Tide at Sewell Thomas Stadium, a 3-game series against the Xavier Musketeers. And earlier this week, I was joined by the head coach of the Crimson Tide, Brad Bohannon, to preview what looks to be a very exciting season ahead for Alabama baseball. Coach Bo, happy opening week. How's everything going at Sewell Thomas Stadium?
It's going awesome. I couldn't be more pleased with how our kids have prepared in the preseason. The weather's been great. We've been on the field a ton, and just really excited about this group and can't wait to get started on Friday.
You and I spoke a couple of weeks ago at Hey Coach, just as practice was getting going. What kind of progress has your team made since that point as we get ready for Friday?
These kids really practice well, and we finally have some experience, at least positionally. We're going to be new on the mound, but we got a nice core group of older position players, and it just makes it really easy as a coach when you have some guys that have been with you for 2, 3, 4 years. They know exactly what our expectations are, and they've just been awesome in the way that they've practiced and prepared. And I know that we're ready to play. Whether we win or not, we're ready to play, and we'll play well.
How much of this time is spent on more fundamentals, game-like situations? How do you try to organize all the practices and scrimmages leading up to the first series?
Roger, being a spring sport, we kind of, install everything in the fall and really try to teach our kids how to play in the fall. When you get to your spring training, preseason work, it's really just a matter of playing your way into shape. We're not giving them a lot of new information, a month out. We kind of do all of that stuff in the fall. So, we focus really hard on teaching our kids how we wanted to play, and we give our kids a lot of freedom, and there's pros and cons to that. There's a lot of coaches that might micromanage, but, we give our kids a lot of freedom, and, they're going to make some mistakes early, and we hope that they learn from it and that they have a lot of freedom in their game in the back half of the season.
Well, now we're excited. We get to talk about a new opponent for the Crimson Tide as opposed to all the different scrimmages you guys have had, not only in the fall, but gearing up for the season. So I imagine you'd be happy to play anybody coming up this weekend. But what can you tell us, first of all, about Xavier? Because we know they have some talent, a program that's had a lot of established stars from that program through the years.
Yeah, Xavier is a very solid mid-major program. Billy O'Connor does a great job. I think they're picked to finish third in the Big East in the preseason. Last year, they opened at Texas A&M and beat them 2 out of 3. So, all of these mid-major programs, they're full of 22, 23-year-old players. So they'll have a bunch of older kids that know how to play baseball, and we're going to have to play well to beat them.
I know any college baseball coach, especially before the season begins, loves to be asked the question, what's the rotation going to look like as you get the season started? And on Monday, we got the answer to that, at least for this upcoming series against Xavier. On Friday, you'll have Garrett McMillan, followed by Antoine Jean on Saturday, and then Grayson Hitt on Sunday. Just what can you tell us about what led to those decisions, specifically with Garrett McMillan for opening day?
Yeah, what a neat story for Garrett, being a local Tuscaloosa product and playing at Shelton State to get the ball on opening day. Really neat for him. And, I told the kids this, and I mean it, Roger, that there's not a lot of separation on our pitching staff. And there's 6 or 7 guys I would have been very comfortable starting this weekend. And, if you look at us traditionally, we don't throw guys 90 or 100 pitches right out of the gate. And we'll do a lot of piggybacking and, kind of chopping these games up. So you'll see several guys have extended outings these first 2 or 3 weeks. And I think the rotation will kind of shake out organically. And really the only thing that we're committed to in the short term is, for Brock Guffey to pitch in some high leverage situations against left-handed batters, and Landon will be used on the back end of the game. So, very confident in Garrett and Antoine and Grayson. They've done a great job in the preseason of, throwing a lot of strikes with all of their pitches. And, the only thing that I can assure you is that the rotation will probably be different 4 or 5 weeks from now.
And looking at Antoine Jean, we've seen the flashes of brilliance from him before in an Alabama uniform. Last year was really plagued by injuries. So what's his offseason been like as he gets ready for this season?
Yeah, Antoine missed a lot of the league play last year, and went and pitched in the Cape Cod League and had a great summer. He pitched really well this fall, and he just incrementally gets better. his makeup and competitiveness and the seriousness in which he trains and practices is as good as any young man I've ever had. He's very determined to be really good at baseball, and he just keeps getting better. His velocity continues to gradually increase. The spin and bite on his breaking ball. He's always had a really good changeup. He's done a great job with his body. He came in at 150, 155 pounds. Now he's up to 185, and it just feels good when he pitches. He's just so competitive and throws a ton of strikes that I know every time out that he's going to give us a chance to win.
And then for a chance to win at the end of games, you mentioned Brock Guffey in some high leverage situations, left-handed batters, and then as well, Landon Green closing out games for you. Just what's led to that opportunity for Landon getting to be the guy to look to in the ninth inning?
We don't have a lot of experience on our pitching staff, but we do have a lot of arm talent, the most arm talent that we've had since I've been here. The little experience that we do have is Brock Guffey and Landon Green have come in to SEC games on the road with people on base and gotten big outs, and that experience is invaluable. So, Landon pitched late in some games last year. Obviously, we had one of the best closers in college baseball in Chase Lee. And, Landon, he's older. He's been around the block, and he's got velocity. He's got a really good breaking ball that he can throw for a strike. And, Brock Guffey's gotten some really high-end SEC hitters out in some tough situations. And, everybody wants to be the Friday night starter. And I think it's really important that you have a couple of your best guys to get those outs late, because those are the hardest ones to get.
And when we look around the diamond at Alabama baseball and the position players, there are a lot of returning faces. So what can you tell us about the progress some of these players that we've gotten to know, guys like Drew Williamson, Zane Denton, Caden Rose in the outfield, William Hammeter? We all know them. We all know what they can do in an Alabama uniform, but what kind of work have they done to get ready for this year?
Roger, all of those guys are noticeably better, and they're all stronger. They're all more experienced. They all went and played in the summer and progressed as players. And look, you don't win in this league unless you have some real talent. You got to have some real bullets. You have to have experience. And then on top of all that, you got to stay healthy and catch some teams at the right time. And we finally have some experience positionally. And I think when we start on Friday, you're going to see 5, 6, 7 names that you're very familiar with, and they're all better. We've got some left and some right. We've got some power. We've got some athleticism and more length to our lineup. We've always been pretty weak in the bottom of the order, and I think we're going to have 7 or 8 guys in a lineup that can impact the ball and put together a really good at bat against some high end pitching. And really would not be surprised to see us hit 70 or 80 home runs this year, and would expect to see us at least in the middle of the SEC or even better than that in the runs per game when we get to the end of the year.
And what can you tell us about just the competitive spirit of this group? Because with so many players back from last year's team that had to learn how to win on the road in the SEC, learn how to win in Hoover, learn how to play in an NCAA regional, has that carried over to this season?
Roger, I think every coach uses the term culture like crazy, and I just couldn't be more proud of the environment that we have, the character and the mentality of the players up and down our roster. We've got the right guys, and it has been as enjoyable of a fall and preseason that I've ever had. We just have a group of kids that believe in themselves. They believe in each other. They practice hard. They love to play. They love each other. What we do, it has a human element. They're not robots. You don't just plug in their talent and their skill set into a computer and it spits out your record. And I think we're going to have a lot of synergy, and really, really excited about the intangibles of this group.
A lot of excitement on the field, but a lot of excitement as well in the stands. And last year, when you and I were getting ready for the season, we were talking about limited capacity at Tuscaloosa Stadium. Of course, the year before, the season gets interrupted and canceled before SEC play even begins. Just how fired up are for you for a full-time Tuscaloosa Stadium in these early series, as well as gearing up for SEC play, knowing that the fan excitement we got to see a little bit at the end of last season, it's going to be there all season long this year.
Yeah, everybody keeps saying, like, Coach, as soon as you put a good product on the field, they're going to be hanging from the light poles, is what Chris Stewart says. And, I can feel the excitement. Our fans have been unbelievably supportive and patient with us as we've rebuilt our program. And I can say with all confidence that we're going to put a really good product on the field, and our kids are going to play the right way. They're going to be really fun to watch, and I can't wait to see the ballpark packed.
It's going to be exciting. Alabama starts the season against Xavier on Friday with the first of a 3-game series, a couple of midweek games next week, and then Crimson Tide will hit the road to Texas to take on the Texas Longhorns. It's an exciting start to the season. Coach Bohannon, just thank you so much for joining us on Crimson Drive. We can't wait. Roll Tide.
Thank you, Roger. Roll Tide.
Thanks to Coach Bohannon for joining us. Can't wait to get out to Sewell Thomas Stadium as, again, we're going to have a really busy weekend on campus, and the Crimson Tide Sports Network will certainly have you covered, including later tonight, women's basketball against Tennessee. That comes your way at 6 p.m. We'll have the Courtside cam on our Facebook page, radio coverage as well. And then tomorrow, softball and baseball underway. The softball team will get it going at 1:30 against Evansville, and then first pitch for the Crimson Tide baseball team for the 2022 season will be against the Xavier Musketeers at 3 p.m. Softball will be rounding out the day at 4 o'clock against Virginia Tech in the first of 2 highly anticipated matchups with the Hokies. On Saturday, the men's basketball team will be the first team in action for the Crimson Tide as they'll be taking on the Kentucky Wildcats at Rupp Arena. 12 p.m. Central start time. Our airtime will be at 11 a.m. from Rupp Arena, so we look forward to Alabama against Kentucky round 2. And then softball and baseball will be active. Softball both against Virginia Tech and Middle Tennessee, again 1:30 and 4 p.m. Then the baseball team in game 2 of the series with Antoine Jean on the mound. It'll be coming your way at 2 p.m. against Xavier. Then on Sunday, it'll be softball against Middle Tennessee, baseball against Xavier at 1 o'clock, and then the women's basketball team will be on the road at Texas A&M. That'll be a 5 p.m. tip-off from College Station as Alabama takes on the Aggies. And then the week will kind of end, I guess, on the schedule, but for us next week, begin with another edition of Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance at 6 p.m. from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. So a busy time for Alabama athletics. Of course, Crimson Tide Sports Network has you covered, as you just saw on the weekend schedule, and we certainly can't wait to see what is in store for the Crimson Tide coming up. Special thanks to Brad Bohannon for joining us, giving us a detailed breakdown on Crimson Tide baseball, and a lot of fun again last night with a men's basketball win against Mississippi State. We're looking forward to tonight's game as well against Tennessee in women's basketball. Special thanks to Ethan Carabin, our producer, for putting all of this show together. Thanks to all of you for watching this Thursday edition of Crimson Drive, driven by Tuscaloosa Toyota. Make sure you check them out online at TuscaloosaToyota.com. For the Crimson Tide Sports Network, I'm Roger Hoover.